Jeremy Fowler talking about the Browns quarterback room. This is from NFL Live.
So the Browns got these 4 quarterbacks. They're going to roll with that for the next 2 to 3 months to see how it shakes out. Shedeur Sanders will have every opportunity to make his impression and to make this team. The Browns also look at quarterbacks, like all positions, like currency, like value. They could trade one of these guys in August if they play well in the preseason. But they're going to give Sanders every chance because the word around the league was that he had a tough time in some of these interviews with other teams. That was not the Browns' experience. They felt good about him. They felt like he was a good person, that he's accurate on the field. So there's some things to like, but he has to beat out Dylan Gabriel because they were so surprised that the Gabriel dynamic and their courtship of him in pre-draft didn't get more publicity by the media. They low-key loved him for months and nobody knew it, and they drafted him 2 rounds earlier. So he's got to beat him out.
Yeah, and Lance, you and I have talked about this. Right now, because they traded for Kenny Pickett before they signed Joe Flacco. That tells me they wanted Kenny Pickett ahead of Joe Flacco. They drafted Dylan Gabriel with Shedeur Sanders on the board. For whatever reason, they wanted Dylan Gabriel more than they wanted Shedeur Sanders. Doesn't mean they can't make up the ground, but that's kind of the pecking order when you look at it.
Well, I couldn't agree. That's exactly right. That's exactly how they went about it. So I will say this. I've been asked a lot of questions the last 48 hours about who is in front. No one's in front when you're a quarterback at any position until you start getting hit, right? Until there's live bullets, so there's live defensive linemen. They both did a really nice job, but they both also made a lot of mistakes. Now I can see why Kevin Stefanski absolutely loves Dylan Gabriel because of his compact motion. He's very consistent in everything he does with his steps, his fundamentals, his work, how he approaches. And I can also see why people like Shedeur Sanders because he is a gamer. He has a lot of fun out there. He's a wild card. He understands where to go. I don't think he gets enough credit for his processing. He does a really nice job with that as well. But yeah, you would have to say those guys are in the front. And for me, I would say Joe Flacco's in front just because Joe Flacco's run this offense with people coming at him. So there's going to be less time that they have to do with walkthroughs. The only thing I would say to everybody is, kind of temper your excitement about these 2 young guys because there's 2 veterans that are going to come in and they're going to get more reps than these 2 guys at first. And, the narrative that Sanders really, completely outplayed Dylan Gabriel, I disagree with that. I thought they both did some really good things. They both made some mistakes. You can tell they're both rookies. You can tell they're going to do some good things in camp. They're also going to struggle when they have to go against the Browns starting defense. So there's a long way to go for those 2 young rookies. There's a long way to go for all those rookies. And, they were pretty, they did, like I said, they both did some good things. I think Sanders maybe hit a couple more deep balls. I think Gabriel's a little bit more compact and consistent with the things from, 10 to 20. But obviously we'll see when you start getting hit. And it does not matter until you get hit. So to say one person's ahead, I don't agree with that yet. You got to wait till they start seeing you start getting hit in the face a little bit.